Chapter 1. Met. Sort of. From M&M's. Once upon a time, there was an ugly girl who was very lonely and who felt that she had been born in the wrong place. Being born in the ocean sounds like a terrible idea, but born in the ocean she was. One would think that the ocean would cradle and love the creature it had born, but the ocean found it didn't love its ugly girl. It constantly buffeted her with its relentless tide. And regardless of her innate ugliness, and despite the ocean's numbers and its strength, she fought it. Her arms would flail and thrash with her legs pumping behind. Her head, with its incredible weight of thick hair, would swing side to side, slicing its way through the onslaught. She'd struggle to force air into a dry mouth and down into failing lungs. Her heart would pound, and sweat would pour its essence into the ocean surrounding her, despite the biting cold. Every part of her ached and felt weighted down with burning acid. Whenever the pain became too intense, the girl would flip onto her back to rest, only to be carried further from the shore by the current she had just fought so hard against. Once her breathing slowed and she realized what had happened, her heart would plop like a stone and her cheeks would burn with shame. Her moment of weakness had left her further from her goal. After that initial feeling of dejection, her mind would issue forth a battle cry and she would saw her way through the water again. But on one rare day, the ugly girl felt a surge of power within herself. The sea was calmer than usual, the sky was a fierce blue, and she felt invincible. Today would be the day she reached the shore, and surely her loneliness and struggles would end. Lighthearted giggles bubbled up within her as she started to slice through the tide with ease, her own optimism and sense of well-being lending her buoyancy and strength. She could barely contain her joy when she reached the shore. As her foot touched the sand, she felt victorious. Since she had never been on shore before, she vowed that she would look each land dweller in the eye. She would be confident and strong, since she is confident and strong. Little did she know that she would meet you. To Skittles. And like being given a bag of Skittles when you wanted M&Ms, here's the nasty truth about me. Strength never lasts long. Like our ocean friend who just thought she found her land legs, I felt incredibly positive that day. Being naturally inclined to be negative my whole life, primarily due to ill-fated luck and experiences that would take a couple of Bible-sized books to get into, this was a rare occasion. However, it was a welcome one. So feeling beefy with courage and armed with positive delusions, I walked into that math class and took my seat with my head held high. The class itself was fairly typical. Someone had gotten the teacher on a tangent again about history or politics, and no math was being done. At one point, someone else told the class something mildly amusing, and I told myself, turn around, actually see who spoke this time. It took a couple of seconds for that voice inside myself to appear. So many years of strictly suppressing animalistic impulses invited the soul-sucking, stagnant demon habit to live inside of me, and he is notoriously difficult to exercise. But I was able to turn his head that day, and in the process, I finally managed to turn my own. I was giddy with the prospect of almost being an actual human being. My eyes saw the speaker, but as if magnetized, they instantly sought out your own. The only reason my eyes were drawn to you specifically was because you weren't looking at the speaker. For some inexplicable reason, you were looking at me, smiling beautifully, as if you were amused with my amusement. Or maybe you were laughing that I actually showed movement, a sign of living, for once. Regardless, I saw you, and oh God, you were